Well, I take my work very seriously.
Don't tell me you're alone on New Year's Eve.
I'd rather not talk about that.
It's very fetching, that uniform.
And Prom? Fine. Yeah. Well, not at the moment. Yeah, if that's what you want.
Who was that?
A boyfriend.
How disappointing.
I'll just take James out for that walk.
Do let me know when you get fed up with the boy races.
But nannies are supposed to pretend not to know what's going on. As long as the child's happy, then so is everyone else. But you can't care for a baby without becoming attached.
Well, I suppose it's inevitable doing your job.
It's not an occupational hazard. It's why I do it. I care for James. He's a person. When I hold James and they start rowing, his little body shakes. He knows, Zoe. How can I walk away?
Well, that's queer, bitch. I really thought...
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, let me take him.
Kim, please. I'll get the sack. You know I've got strict orders not to let you have him.
You don't think that's best for him, do you?
But what I think doesn't matter. If I don't do what Frank says, he'll find someone else who will.
Yeah, you're right. This isn't fair on you.
Thank you.
Oh, Sophie. I'll come up and see him later.
Yeah, of course. But make sure the coast is clear.
Just who I'm looking for.
All day.
Well, he's lucky. He's not old enough to understand all the battles that are going on around him yet. You must wonder what you walked into sometimes.
Well, I just do my job and try and stay out of it.
Can't be easy. Frank pays your wages and he expects his money's worth. I know he's warned you I'm not to be trusted. But that's because I don't do what I'm told anymore. Especially where James is concerned. But I'd never do my son any harm.
Oh, I can't imagine anyone wanted to hurt him. Oh, he's such a sweet little boy.
And I'm sure Jan and Ned Glover would agree with you. Such a shame Frank's banned them from seeing their grandson anymore. But perhaps they'll stop taking orders too.
Sophie, would you mind taking James up to the nursery, please? Mrs. Tate and I have something to celebrate.
Sorry.
He's so innocent. Doesn't know what a terrible world he's come into.
He's got a mum that loves him. That can't be bad.
And what about his father?
I'm sure Frank loves him too.
And he loves any new acquisition for the Tate Empire.
He's as much your son as Frank's. It's up to you to teach him that.
I know. You're right. It's just I can't stop thinking what I was going to tell him about David. How he was young, good, how much he loved me. Now what do I say?
I don't know, Kim. But maybe let him make up his own mind about Frank.
This wasn't meant to happen. He was David's son. He was all I had left.
Come on.
All I had of David. You two kids play nicely now. Frank?
Leave them.
It's got to be sorted.
Keep out of it. This isn't business. This is Dad versus Kim, round 110.
This could cost us thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Forget the money. Forget Kim and her pathetic revenge. And put your son first for a change. You're late.
What are you looking at?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Take it out on her. Come and serve me a drink.
Oh, and that'll make everything all right.
Don't kid yourself. They don't need you. You're mixing with the professionals now. So, you turned up then?
Foul mood.
Is there any other? Oh, sorry. Don't be.
Trouble at mill?
Dad and Kim are at each other.
Oh, I hope they don't wake James up.
Well, they wouldn't care if they did. Oh, stuff them. They're always the same. Stuff the lot of them.
Oh, that's fighting talk.
That's drinking talk.
Apparently you're all to blame.
No, for what?
For all the trouble in the world.
Oh, that figures. I think I'm going to cause a bit of trouble of my own.
When?
Tonight, I'm going to ring Chris and tell him that I'm having such a good time.
The story every night, you know. Oh, he's a sweetie. I love this cottage. So cosy.
It's a bit different to home farm. Do you enjoy working there? Oh, sorry, I don't mean to brag. Much.
I know you shouldn't criticise your employers.
Listen, there's nothing about the taste that you can't tell me that I don't already know.
I don't know. I feel as if I have to be on my guard the whole time. Be so careful about what I say.
Well, it's probably not a bad thing. I mean, I just said what I thought, and that's why Chris is back there and I'm still here.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I didn't want to be part of that anymore.
I thought I might settle down after Mrs. Tate left, but it's as if she's still around. There's so much hatred towards her. No one's given a thought to whether she's all right.
Kim's a survivor.
Well, she's grown really close to James.
She plays so many games, you can't even be sure of that.
I suppose you're right. Otherwise, why would she have walked out on him?
Well, I think she was genuinely devastated over Dave.
Why else would she leave her own baby and go without taking anything?
I bet she took her purse and her credit cards. She's not that unbalanced then.
Here we go, Eric. But Sophie, you can't resign. Not now.
I became a nanny, Mr. Tate, because I love children. I didn't expect police all over the place, newspaper reporters, and disappearing mothers.
I suppose you'd feel insulted if I offered you more money.
It's nothing to do with money.
Then please, for James. There's no one else to look after him.
All right, I'll stay for the time being, but just until you find Mrs. Tate.
Thank you. I won't forget this, Sophie.
I can't understand people having kids and paying someone else to look after them.
After she got over her postnatal depression, Mrs. Tate became very involved with James.
Involved? Sounds rather clinical.
She loved him. Loves him.
But according to Mr. Tate, she walked out and left the baby.
Well, she was depressed after... Is this official?
You're probably better placed than anyone to give me a picture of the situation.
I do my job.
When did you last see Kim?
A few weeks ago. Oh, it was the 5th of February.
How can you be so precise? The sooner we have all the details, the quicker we'll be able to clear this up and let you all get back to normal.
Well, I remember it exactly because Mr. and Mrs. Tate had an argument that day.
Was that unusual?
Well, it was a bad one. Mrs. Tate was very upset.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wondered if you wanted me to take James off your hands.
It's all right. It's time for his feed.
That's all right. We'll chat again.
I still can't believe it.
Well, I have to get on with things. Sophie, I know you've got your life to lead, but I may have to ask you to give up some of your free time, just until we get back to some sort of normality.
Of course I will.
Obviously, you'll be paid overtime for it.
Never even crossed my mind, Mr. Tate. I'll be happy to help out for Kim's memory. And for James's sake.
Handed. I can't do that if I can't get 2 seconds peace.
Sorry, I've had enough.
Take it easy.
Anybody would think all this is being done to inconvenience you. You seem to forget that James's mother is dead. His father's in prison. I'm the only one he's got left. And if I wasn't, I would leave now.
Oh, for goodness sake.